I don't know if you guys are on the same boat in terms of like trying not to overspend, overconsume. I'm on that same boat with you. I don't need more stuff and I don't want to spend my money on that. I'd rather put that towards savings or my emergency fund. I did do some recent spending though. It's not like I'm this saint who doesn't purchase anything. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are talking all about my November money diaries. If you are new to this series, I essentially go through everything that I spent in the previous month as well as how I've been feeling about money lately. And we also look ahead into the upcoming month of November. So if you want to see that, then just keep on watching. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Raisa. I talk a lot about personal finances and I also started to talk about my small business as well as luxury goods. So if you're into all of that, then make sure you're subscribed down below. Okay, let's get into this video. I feel like I haven't done a sit down video in quite a while. I remember my October money diaries was actually filmed in New York, which is crazy. You guys, I miss New York so much. I had the best time in New York. I haven't been there since the pandemic. To go there for my small business and to work from there, it was just magical. Like New York, I think in my mind is just magical. And yeah, it was just the best time. And I was just reminiscing on like, wow, the last time I filmed this type of video, it was there. So you'll actually see some of my New York spending in this video if you are curious what I purchased. I also wanted to talk about how I've been feeling about money this past month and how I'm feeling going into this very crazy like holiday sale period. I'm trying to be very careful about what I'm consuming and what I'm purchasing. So I just want this to be a super chatty video. Please grab a drink. I've got an Americano here. If you guys watched my previous video or my small business video, I mentioned that I was feeling really sluggish today, but I wanted to get this video out for you guys because these are my favorite videos to film, if I'm being honest, and I feel like you guys are also really enjoying them. So yeah, get settled, get cozy, and let's talk about money. I feel like what you'll see in this isn't like fully reflective of everything that I actually fully spent, mainly because part of it is for business expenses. I actually didn't go too crazy with spending in New York. I didn't think that I would, but I thought I would like treat myself to something. But instead I treated others. Like I treated my friend who came with me to New York to a very special like experience. We made perfumes together. That was so much fun. It is in my New York vlog if you guys are curious about that. We did that at Olfactory. And then I also got my partner some gifts. Didn't really spend too much money on myself. I don't know why. Maybe like I wasn't necessarily looking, but I also like didn't find anything even if I was just like casually browsing. Or maybe my mindset is like that's gonna go on sale in a month. Don't buy that yet. So maybe all of those things together just like combined that I didn't end up buying myself anything. I did do some recent spending though. It's not like I'm this saint who doesn't purchase anything. I just did an unboxing video for a new handbag. I don't know if that video will go live before this one or after this one. It might be after, but I did buy myself a new handbag, but technically that was purchased in November. So you'll see that next week. And then you'll see it in my December money diaries. Things are in control in terms of like shopping. As I mentioned, Black Friday is coming up. I'm very mindful of that. I work in campaigns and marketing for my 9-to-5 job. So that is like one of our biggest events. Throughout the entire year, we are expecting a ton of sales to come through. And then also with my small business, that is also very top of mind for me as we plan our campaign for Black Friday. There's also the Sephora sale. If you guys don't know, Sephora does like twice a year, 20% off, or I guess depending on your tier, you can get up to 20% off makeup and skincare. And I always try to take advantage of that because it's better to get it on sale than on regular price. So I haven't actually purchased anything yet, but there are things in my cart that I'm considering, but I just want to take a pause and make sure that I need those things. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are on the same boat in terms of like trying not to overspend, overconsume. I'm on that same boat with you. I'm trying to be mindful about the lists that I'm making for Black Friday and everything that I'm spending. I think my game plan for Black Friday is I want to make sure that this is something that the thing that I buy is something that has been on my mind for at least like longer than a month. Like I don't want to buy something just to buy it because it's on sale. There's going to be a ton of that happening and I don't want to participate personally, primarily because I don't need more stuff and I don't want to spend my money on that. I'd rather put that towards savings or my emergency fund, like all of those things. So just a reminder, if you are on that same train, I'm also on that train with you. And I hope that this upcoming month of November is good to you in terms of savings and investing and less consuming, let's say. Okay, with all of that said, now let's get into how we did for October. I usually talk about my income, my bills, my expenses, as well as my investments. So as always, let's start off with my income. I have two streams of income right now. The first one is my corporate job. If you didn't know, I still have a 9-to-5 job, and I also have YouTube as a sort of like side hustle. I don't make a ton from YouTube. I make at least like over $100 a month, but yeah, it's not anything to be like, I'm gonna quit my job. So those are my two income streams. Anything that comes through from my small business is completely separate from my personal stuff. So in this video, I only talk about my 9-to-5 income as well as my YouTube income. So in October, I made $6,078 for my corporate job. And then for YouTube, I made $231.10. That is higher. It was on the higher end for YouTube. I think there was a video about my net worth that went viral that, I don't know, garnered more views, I think. So that has definitely supplemented and added to my YouTube income for this month. So that is really exciting. So my total income for this month is $6,309.10. Next, we talk about my emergency fund and my savings. Right now, for my savings, I only have an emergency fund that I am looking to add to. If you guys saw my net worth video that went live last week, you would know that my emergency fund was drained. Not drained, but I took a lot, like 80% of my emergency fund savings to fund stuff for my small business. So right now, I think it's sitting at like $2,800 and it was at 10K. So I'm just filling that back up because I would rather have like a sort of nest egg in case there's any emergencies. So every single paycheck, I allocate around $100 into that. And this month I was able to contribute $200 for my emergency fund. Next thing is my investments. I usually do my investing through Wealthsimple. If you are Canadian and you're looking for an investment platform or even just like where to put your emergency fund, I do highly recommend Wealthsimple. My emergency fund as well as my investments are through that. I'll have it linked down below. For my tax-free savings account, I usually like to put down $300 every paycheck. So this month I was able to put in $600 into my Wealthsimple tax-free savings account. Then we talk about my personal bills. Personal bills are these like fixed expenses that come out every single month. So think about your rent, your mortgage, maybe a storage unit, maybe a car payment, any subscriptions, things like that would go in this. For myself, my budget for my personal bills is $2,688.60. I will have a screenshot of what all of that entails, and that is exactly what I paid for this month. I didn't add any new subscriptions or anything like that. So everything has remained as is from the previous month. I do want to call out, because this is gonna start to change, but we are moving into a variable mortgage. If you guys didn't know, I purchased a condo last year at the height of the interest rates and all of that. I guess it was just like an unfortunate time. And our fixed interest rate was 5.6%, which was, I don't know, at the time when we were purchasing the home in November of 2023, it was decent. Obviously, if you are following the markets right now, it is decreasing or declining. We have a really great mortgage broker. We actually followed up with us to see if there's any changes that we wanted to make just based on how like the trend is going. So we are exploring a variable mortgage, which is scary / exciting because things are going down. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video if you guys are curious about making the switch from fixed to variable. But that is going to change every single month because obviously it's a variable rate mortgage and not a fixed one. Right now we do pay, I think, $1,600 for our mortgage every paycheck. Like bi-weekly we pay $1,600 and then we split that into two, my partner and I. So I pay $813 and he does the same, and that comes out every paycheck. So we pay in total like $1,600 a month for our mortgage, which each, which is a lot. Like if I was just doing it on my own, like that's obviously a lot of money. It's like 1,600 times 2. So I'm excited to see how the variable mortgage rate changes our payments, and I'll keep you guys in the loop. Okay, and then to end things off for October, we talk about my expenses. These are my variable expenses. So these things can be like dining out, groceries, personal care, travel, transportation, those types of things. As I mentioned, it looks like I did a decent job because I'm only over by $180 in my variable expenses, but I was in New York for a little bit and most of that was put through like my business account. So I don't know, I feel like I did spend quite a bit of money still, but this is everything that I have spent in terms of like the categories. But I wanted to dive into a couple things. So shopping is over by $328. And the biggest thing that I purchased last month was a pair of glasses. I tried on a pair of glasses in New York and I really like them. However, I didn't pull the trigger when I was in the store. I walked away from them, but I did take a photo. I will put that photo over here. I was in the market for like a thicker framed glasses, like pair of glasses. And I also wanted it in like a more rectangular tortoise shell. And I feel like I found the perfect ones at Elasteva. It's a brand in New York. I think every frame that they make is made in Italy and it was just very good quality. I couldn't stop thinking about the glasses when I got home. I thought I could find a pair from like Warby Parker or like somewhere else. Warby Parker does have a very similar one, but they weren't as thick like as the Elasteva ones, which I don't know, I think I just fell in love with those and I had my mind set on the Elasteva glasses. So I ended up ordering them and they were pricier than Warby Parker. So the total for the glasses was $280. And I also had to pay duties on that because they came from the States. So the duties was $47.61. So that is primarily why my shopping budget or my shopping spending was so high, because I had to pay USD for the glasses as well as duties from DHL, which is annoying, but that's okay. What else did I spend on? I didn't really buy anything else in terms of shopping. I do have a New York shopping category here, and that is over by $239. The New York shopping, these are the gifts that I purchased for my partner. So I already mentioned I got him a like sterling silver bracelet as well as a few tees, like running t-shirts from Bandit. Yeah, that is pretty much it that I spent in New York, and that is why I'm over by over $200. There are things that I didn't spend too much on this month. Like I didn't do a ton of dining out. As you can see, my dining out budget is very much in the green. My total variable spending is $1,173.90. So that is October. And now let's look into my November budget. November, for the most part, will remain the same. So my income expectation is always going to be $3,000 per paycheck for my corporate job. And then for YouTube, I like to put down $100. So my total expected income for this month is $6,100. And then for my savings, as I mentioned, emergency fund, always $100 per paycheck in there for a total of $200 in savings. And then my Wealthsimple account, always put down $300 per paycheck, so $600 in my Wealthsimple TFSA account. And then for my personal bill payments, as I mentioned, these are not gonna change for this month, other than potentially my mortgage might change. I'm expecting it to be slightly lower. I don't know how much lower, but slightly. And then I'll make a video all about fixed versus variable and like from my experience what that looks like. If you guys have questions, leave them down below. And then lastly, my expenses. So I will keep my expenses in terms of like my budget the same. I don't know how to approach the shopping category. I never really put down a like number for shopping anyway. I already explained this in the previous video, but like anytime I put a like number, let's say I give myself $500 for this month, even though I don't need to buy anything, because I have like given myself that amount for that month, I'll go and spend it, which like my brain, that's how my brain works, but it makes no sense. So I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to give myself like, this is how much you can spend for Black Friday, because I'll just go and spend it and maybe I might go over. So I usually just don't put a number on there and then see how it goes. That's why there's not really anything under shopping. I do plan on buying stuff during Black Friday. Maybe I'll share with you guys my wish list and what I have on my mind in a separate video, or I'll do a haul after Black Friday. But that's kind of my game plan. Let me know what you guys are eyeing for Black Friday and like what sales you guys are eyeing. For me, there isn't really anything crazy, I do want to add another cashmere sweater from Uniqlo and potentially a pair of jeans, maybe from Levi's, maybe from Citizens of Humanity. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I feel like I'm not gonna go too crazy. I will be perusing the sales. For my variable expenses, my typical $995. This includes coffee, dining out, groceries, transportation, and all of that is in there. But yeah, that wraps it up in terms of my November budget. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.